Algebra 2, 10.8. We're in this last section of this right triangle trig unit, and we're going to solve a right triangle. Now, when we solve a right triangle, that just means find all the missing parts. A triangle has 6 parts. It has 3 sides. It has 3 angles. And in right triangle problems, you'll be provided 3 parts. You'll have to find the other 3 missing parts. So let's see, here's our strategy. Circle the reference angle and label the sides, just like you've always been doing. Use SOHCAHTOA to find one of the missing sides, just choose one. Use SOHCAHTOA to find the other missing side. Once you do that, you'll have all 3 sides. Then we'll find the missing angle using complementary angles, and we'll be good to go. So let's take a look at example 1 very quickly. And here's your angle of 47 degrees. And right here we will have the opposite side. Right across from the right angle is the hypotenuse. Next to the 47 degrees is your adjacent side. So, of course, we're going to use SOHCAHTOA. And most of this is actually just review. That's the wonderful thing. Let's worry about finding the adjacent side first. In other words, momentarily, don't look at B. Ignore it. What we're really getting at is look at the adjacent side. We're looking for A, and worry about this other side. That's H. A and H, I think you can see right in here. That's cosine. That's from the ka. So we'd write cosine of 47 degrees. And that would be adjacent, which would be letter A, all over 20. So that's your adjacent all over hypotenuse. What did we do last week? Well, we cross-multiplied. 1 times A is simply an A. And then we'd have 20 times the cosine of 47 degrees. Well, this is where we take out our calculator. And nice and quickly, we will just type in 20 times the cosine of 47 degrees. I'm going to double check that our mode is right for degrees. It is. I like to do that, especially as I'm teaching other classes. 13.6399, well, if we're going to the nearest tenth, that would be 13.6. So we're finding one of the missing sides. Well, now I'd like to go back and say we found the adjacent side. It's 13.6, but just ignore that for a moment. Now I'd like for us to come back and find the other side, the opposite side, B. And my word, if we're working with this other side right here of the hypotenuse, we have O and we have H. Well, O and H are right here. That's for sine. We can say the sine of 47 is going to equal, well, what do we see? It's going to be opposite, B, all over your hypotenuse, which is 20. And nicely, all you have to do is cross multiply. 1 times B is B. We'll have 20 times the sine of 47 degrees. And again, take your calculator out, and you can see where we're going with this. This is 20 multiplied to the sine of 47. And you can see we will get 14.6. 14.6 would be side B. So in other words, as you're finding one side, ignore the other unknown side, and you'll be good to go. Now, one thing I do want to really point out to you, and I hope you remember from geometry, is that the 3 angles, of course, are going to always add up to 180 degrees, but in a right angle, a right triangle, with a right angle, you already have 90, and 180 minus 90 is 90. So these 2 angles here must add up to 90 degrees. So if I want to find the measure of angle A, the fast way to do it is just to do 90 minus 47. And of course, as we're doing that, I think you can quickly, either with a calculator or just doing this in your head, more or less see where we're going. 90 minus 47, of course, is 43 degrees. And we're done. We have solved for 3 parts of the triangle. The angle might be one of the easiest parts to find. In fact, a lot of times kids might want to do that first. But let's go ahead and do example 2 very quickly, following the same guidelines. We're going to take a look at this angle right here, this 46. And let's label our sides. This would be opposite. Right here is our hypotenuse. And right here would be adjacent. And of course, we've got SOHCAHTOA. And it only takes a moment to write that down and label it all up. Where are we going with this? Well, maybe you want to find side A first. That means momentarily ignore side C. Only look at one of your unknowns at a time. And you can see you have your opposite, you have your adjacent, and that's TOA. So I'm going to say tangent. The tangent of 46 degrees is going to equal A over 25. That's opposite over adjacent. Once again, what did we do last week? Well, we cross multiplied. 1 times A is A. Then we've got 25 times the tangent of 46. Then what? Well, we get our calculator out. And very quickly, we'll just type this in. 25, multiply that to the tangent of 46. And we'll see that's 25.9. We'd have to round up. They're going to ask for side A. You have it. You've got it right here. But imagine that you're just ignoring that now, because now you have to find your other side. Your other side that's unknown is C, and you're given this other side of 25. So you want to focus on those two, the unknown part and the given part. And that's your A and your H. And hopefully you can find A and H in the middle. That's cosine. So I'm going to say cosine, again, of 46 degrees. Adjacent is 25. And your hypotenuse would be C. Great review here. When we cross multiply, things look a little more complicated. You get C times the cosine of 46. 25 times 1 is 25. The problem is C is not by itself. It's not alone. So I'm going to divide both sides by the cosine of 46. Then what? Well, we get our calculator out. And we're going to type in 25 divided by cosine of 46. Very quickly, you will come up with 35.9, but this 8 bumps it up to a 10. So it's going to be 36.0. If you're ever worried, you can, if rounding has been an issue for you, you can set your calculator to 1 decimal place and see that that's what we just said, 36.0. All right, well, last but not least, we're looking for angle B. You can see that right here. B is going to be 90 minus this acute angle. And 90 minus 46, well, you could see very quickly with a calculator or just common sense, you'd get 44. So it's 44 degrees. And that is lesson 10.8.